Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. I am excited to be on with the women behind Emerging Grace. My name is Giovanna Burgess White, and I am the owner of Mia Bella Houston. And today we're going to talk to Tina, Lori, and Dana. They're going to give us some information and overview on Emerging Grace Ministries, what they are, what they do, how they impact the community, and how you can learn more and help. They have some upcoming events going on, as well as open for donations at any time. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Tina Stahl, who is the founder of Emerging Grace. Tina, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Gio.
I'm so glad to have you on, and I want you to
Thanks.
kind of introduce who you are and how you founded Emerging Grace so that everyone can learn a little bit more about how they can help.
Grateful to have this opportunity. So I have 17 years experience working with residential child care. And throughout those years, I've recognized a lack of services for sex trafficking children. They're a unique population because of the trauma bond that is created between the trafficker and the child. So they need a different type of therapeutic approach. So I set forth to come up with a program that would work. I believe in it completely based on all the expertise that I have, as well as the collaborations that I have with other folks that have worked with this clientele. So gathered up a board, and here we are a year later.
I love that. And it's really important. I think, education for nonprofits in general is not really out there. There's so many ways to help and to get involved. And I think it's really important what you're doing. And especially with it during COVID, I know that the statistics of sex trafficking went up a lot higher. So we've seen a spike in that. So I think it's super important to educate and help people understand how they can be part of the community, how they can help. Lori, would you like to add in? Lori is the president of Emerging Grace. Would you like to add anything in? I wanted to hear with you about the how and the why.
Sure. I think the most important thing that we have to acknowledge is that there's so much going on around us and that people just absolutely aren't even familiar with the statistics. Like you said, the numbers are increasing. What was astounding to me was the 79,000 kids that we have just in the state of Texas being trafficked, and we have 200 beds. And so that in itself spoke volumes to me as far as a participant and wanting to get involved and to find a solution to the problem. And so I think that's really important for people to be aware. I think that number is only going to grow, especially with the influx of children coming in across the border. And I think we just have an obligation to, as a community and as members of this country, we have an obligation to do what we can to make a difference. And so I think Emerging Grace just gave me that opportunity to do that, and I'm super excited about it.
It's wonderful. And Tina, before I move on to Dana to talk about some fundraising and how people can get involved, can you let everybody know kind of like what the vision is for the rest of this year and upcoming year for Emerging Grace? Like, how donating and fundraising is going to help you guys get closer to your goal. Can you kind of give the viewers and the listeners a little bit of that information?
Sure. We are looking to open up a residential campus. We are actively looking for acreage in the Montgomery County area because that's where our support system has always been. 20-bed facility for girls first, and then we would move on to a boys campus because those numbers are growing as well. And then eventually open up a program for extended care over 18 so that they would have a place to go once they age out of a child's facility. So.
Yeah, and can you tell people a little bit about that, the aging out, because I feel like that's also a big problem. Like there's a lot of nonprofits that can help, but then after a certain age, it's like that kind of stops. So do you want to give people a little bit of information around that?
Yeah, 18 is the magic number because you're no longer a child. So in order to assist them, we'd have to be able to keep them safe in another environment. So it's typical, just like a kid that would go to college, a child that would go to college. They have a home to go to during the holidays and during the breaks. They have a support system that would visit them. Mentors are going to be a very big part of our program, as well as volunteers. So there's going to be a a pool of people that surround them and carry on with them even after they've moved out of the program. They can stay with us as long as they like, or as long as they need, I should say. When it comes to a sex trafficking victim, even when they're recovered and they have a safe home to go to, you don't necessarily want to put them right back into the home, because there's the shame factor, the doubt factor, and they tend to run away again. And because of that trauma bond, go back to the trafficker. So Emerging Grace will be that middle point where we help the families reunite and heal so that they can move on with their lives.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And Dana, I would love for you to talk about upcoming events, fundraising, and obviously if people can't make it to events, how they can donate. And as you're speaking, I can also give everybody a little overview on the website on where they can buy tickets to your upcoming event. So tell them a little bit about that. It's wonderful meeting you, Dana.
Nice meeting you too. Thank you so much for having us. I do want to also reiterate something that's very, very important for our organization, for these girls or these kids to get help. It's long-term help. I have seen in my own family how if you don't get long-term help, the effects that it will have on you in the long term, even as an adult. The suicide rate is really, really high. So it's very important for these kids to get long-term help, not just help of getting out of the situation, but to have long-term help. And that's what we are planning to do. And with that, we do need fundraising since we are a new organization. And we are trying to, like Tina said, build a facility. So we do have an upcoming event on November 5th at Gia's place, Mia Bella's. And it is November 5th from 7 to 11. It is a casino night, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's very casual, and I mean, we are kind of dressing up, but if you can't make it, you can also have plenty of opportunity to donate. We do have sponsorships available, table sponsorships, a big presenting sponsorship available. And to do that, you can go on our website, emerginggrace.org, and sign up to come to the event, as well as do a sponsorship. We did have a big golf tournament in May, and it was a great success for our very first golf tournament. And we also are planning a new golf tournament next year. And we would love help with that, or anybody has donations or any auction items for that. We would love to hear from you. So if you could just please contact us, there's contact information on our website, and that is emerginggrace with 2Gs.org. So that is how you can help.
I love that. And I just put up the website for everyone to go. It's really easy to navigate. You can go to upcoming events. This is for the casino night. And then you can do sponsorship levels. You can just buy tickets. If you can't make it, there's also a donations page. So I really want people to get familiar with that. You can go in here and just make donations. And then just follow. I think it's super important to follow on Instagram, follow on Facebook, wherever you tend to share as well. If you're listening or watching this today live or on the replay, make sure you're sharing this, because when you share with the network, more people can get involved. And I know that you guys have not only events coming up, but volunteer. Tina, if you want to talk about that, I think you guys just had a meeting. Are y'all going to do quarterly meetings for volunteers, or is that something they just need to follow you guys for?
Yeah, they can sign up pretty much at any time, and we keep them in the loop of any activities that require volunteers. Right now, our next volunteer meeting is Wednesday at 7 p.m. They can contact me from the website to let me know that they'd be interested in volunteering at casino night. And we'll see if we can hook them up with that meeting. So, but yeah, I'd love to hear from them if they're interested in getting involved in any way.
I love that. So it's super easy. Go to emerginggrace.org. You can go up to upcoming events. It's going to tell you when their next meeting is, any events that are up and coming. Again, if you cannot make it out to casino night, there's just a button there where you can donate. And if you have questions or you just want to talk to Tina, her number is available. So please make sure that you reach out. Tina, Lori, Dana, is there anything else that we want to add in before we? Yes, tell me.
Okay, so just a bit of warning. We all know that social media has made numbers soar for our children here locally in the U.S. to be abducted. They're being manipulated and tricked into meeting people that they think are simple things like Bible studies, and instead being snatched up. And I heard this morning on the news of 2 children being taken from their vehicle in Pearland while their mom was signing up another sibling for soccer practice. So, school started, all the activities are in full swing for everybody, and we need to be diligent because they're on the prowl. So be careful out there.
Sorry, mute. Well, thank you guys, Tina. Thank you, Lori, Dana. Again, you guys can find everything on their website. If you're watching us on Facebook, please make sure that you share. If you're watching us later on the replay on Instagram, these are all shareable links, so they're public. And again, if you want to volunteer or just be part of this organization, please let us know. Ladies, thank you so much. I'm excited about hosting this event in November. And thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you. Appreciate it so much.
Of course.